Okay. Welcome now to Stockholm. Welcome everybody back to Stockholm. We were only here about 8 weeks ago, and somebody asked me, "Will you ever come back to Stockholm?" So here we are again. We're back in Stockholm for this amazing event. We've just walked out on the pitch, and you guys will get a chance to do that later, but it's unbelievable. I got shivers all down my spine and hairs on the back of my neck standing with what we're going to achieve here. We're absolutely going to blow the roof off this place. There will be over 30,000 people in the arena, and so that is just going to be amazing. So first of all, big welcome to Anthony, just flown in from the United States. Thank you for coming on this special week. It's Thanksgiving back in the States, so we're going to get you back and see if you want to get some turkey. Yeah. And welcome home to Alex in his hometown. So it's going to be a good conference here today. A couple of facts about the event that we're running. This is the biggest ever UFC event held in Europe. It's actually the second biggest event that the UFC have ever held in the world. The only one that beat it was UFC 129 in Toronto. So it's an enormous event, and we're really looking for all the people of Sweden to come and support this. This is one of these moments where you'll be able to stand back and say, I was there. You know, I was in the stadium the night of the title eliminator fight. I was there. It's a bit like when Ingemar Johansson won the world title in New York. In 1958 here in Sweden, the Swedish national team came runners-up in the World Cup. So are you able to say, I was there? So don't miss this event. 30,000 people. Tickets go on sale on Wednesday to our Fight Club members. On Thursday of this week to our newsletter subscribers. Subscribe still, you get early access to the tickets. And then general public tickets go on sale on Friday. The ticket pricing, we've been really careful in making sure that we can get everybody access to this arena. So the ticket pricing starts at 500 SEK. So for 500 SEK, you can have an absolutely amazing night of sport. 500 SEK, it costs that to go to the airport in a taxi. So put it in relation. Really good value, and it's going to be a great night. So the time is now to make sure that you access your tickets. Go to access.com, Tele2 Arena. That's where you get your tickets on sale on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Two fighters here, Alex and Anthony, getting ready for a shot at the world title. Whoever wins this fight, this is the title eliminator, will fight the UFC light heavyweight champion. So it's an enormous event. There's not just these two guys on the card. We've got Gegard Mousasi versus Dan Henderson in the co-main. Absolutely brilliant fight. And we've got a really international card. So far we've released that there are 9 international fighters on the card. 3 from Russia, 3 from the USA, 2 from here in the hometown Sweden, and also a couple from Brazil, from Chechnya, and from the Ukraine. So an enormous card that we're putting together for this night. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Question for Anthony Johnson. There was quite a bit of reaction yesterday when there was a picture posted of you and Alex standing next to each other, and everyone was commenting how big you are. Can you talk about where you are in your camp, and maybe mention maybe how heavy you get before a fight?
I started my camp about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and yeah, that picture did make me look pretty big. But it was the angle. As you can tell, Alex isn't a small guy himself. You know what I mean? Things are great. So far, camp is looking good. No injuries. Feel like a beast already. I'm already in decent shape. By January 24th, I'll be in awesome shape. If not excellent, perfect shape. So I'm looking forward to it.
Next question.
Question for Alex. When Dave kind of gives that introduction, referring back to the Swedish national football team and Ingemar Johansson. But how does this kind of feel to you in terms of a moment in your personal career, in your personal life, being able to headline an event like this in Stockholm?
Well, it's a big honor to hear words like that, and I'm very excited. I'm fighting in my hometown for my own fans, so it can't be better than that. So it's just, I'm living my dream and having fun at work.
Of course, along with that, there will obviously come a lot of pressure. You're going to be fighting in front of your home people. And you've done that before, but this is on a much bigger stage, and I'm sure there will be a lot of local and media and PR that you'll be having to do in the coming weeks and months. Do you think that might even be a distraction for you in Capital, or is that something you've got used to now in the UFC?
Well, I'm used to it, but at the same time, it is a distraction, But at the same time, I have my mind and my focus on the right things. I'm training. When I go to January, I will be the best shape of my life, so it's all good.
And same question for Anthony. Obviously, you go back to the States after this media tour. What do you think about Alex staying here in Stockholm? Do you think something like this, the big moment, might be a big distraction for him leading up to this fight?
Alex is a professional, so I don't think it's going to be a distraction at all. He knows that he has to have his focus on me, and I know I have to have my focus on him. Like I said in other interviews, I'm fighting one person, not 30,000. He knows that he's fighting one person, not 30,000. He has 30,000 that has his back. So it's hard to say what it's going to be like. All I know is that it's going to be electrifying, and everybody's going to be, on their feet for this fight, because neither one of us are slouches. He brings it, I bring it, so just be ready, I guess.
There's a lot of talk about what a big moment this is for Swedish MMA and for Alex headlining this fight. What about for you? You've been involved in big cards for the UFC, headline big cards. Talk to us about how this feels for you, being involved in the main event of the second biggest fight event in terms of attendance in UFC history.
It's awesome. It's an honor to be able to fight this in front of this many people. I've never experienced it before, but I'm looking forward to it. I just walked in there and saw the arena, and it's beautiful, man. It's so beautiful, And back in the U.S., I think we have about 8,000 to 12,000 people come to a fight, depending on the size of the venue. Double that now, you know what I mean? And if they get loud in the U.S. with just that many people, just think about how it's going to be when 30,000 people are screaming at you and all of that. I want it to be like 300 where the ground shakes and stuff like that. Everybody's so excited. So, yeah, man, this is pretty awesome.
Next question, guys.
I've got some more. Can I ask me a question? I've got a list here. Looks like the Englishman's asking all the questions in this press conference then. Back to Alex. I don't know if you know this, but I was doing some research yesterday, and you actually made your UFC debut 5 years ago, November 2009. Talk to us about your journey so far in the UFC. You're 27 years old now, but can you kind of sum up of what the journey's been so far and where you are in your career, what stage you're at right now?
Well, I have a lot to say now. It's been a crazy journey, having a blast, and it's been some ups and downs, of course. But generally, I just, living my dream, and I can do something I love to do every day. So, it's not more to say. The debut, it's one of the best debuts I think any fighter can wish for. I won the first round on knockout, and it's been a crazy ride. So that's all I can say.
And in regards to this fight, do you think that if Daniel Cormier defeats John Jones, that might mean there'll be a rematch and that might prolong your title fight should you win this fight? Or are you not even focused on that? Are you completely focused on just this fight for the time being?
No, I'm just focusing 1000% on the opponent right now. That's it. That's all it is. That's how I work as a fighter, a human being. Just take one fight at a time, and I win this fight, and let's see what happens after that.
Some questions for Anthony. You've been in Stockholm for a few days. What do you make of the weather, the people, the food? You liking it here or what?
Yeah. It's cold, I'm used to Florida weather where it's 80, 85 degrees and a beach. It's cold here and no beach. You wake up at 11 and it's dark by 2:33. I'm not used to it, but it's awesome. The people here are really relaxed and calm. I like that. Excuse me, this is a place I can actually have a vacation and just get away from the world because the pace here is just mellow. But overall, it's cool. The food is awesome, but I'm trying to keep this physique, you know what I mean? Not get too much.
Have you actually thought maybe down the line, how far in advance you might come out here before the fight, maybe a week or two or maybe even more?
I'll probably be out here a week before, but we'll see.
You've travelled once outside of the States, if I'm not mistaken, when you fought Vitor in Brazil. Even though it didn't go your way that night, can you take anything from that experience, fighting outside of the States that you might bring into this fight in Stockholm?
This place, like I said, this place is just a lot more chill. It's a lot more relaxed. Hopefully the crowd isn't like, the Brazilian crowd. The Brazilian crowd is really wild, but that's just their culture, So far everybody here has been respectful, and I appreciate that, and that's what makes me really want to come here and put on a show for the fans because everybody here is so respectful and, respect, gets you a long way. So, you can't, I don't know, man. Just fighting here to me is just awesome. I'm speechless because I've never been in a place like this that's so chill, an arena that's so awesome, and people that are so respectful. So that's what makes me look forward to it.
Obviously, lately you had a few personal issues to deal with, and you've answered this question in other interviews, so I won't go into that, but can you just talk about how it feels to actually being able to focus back on your career and being able to just focus on a fight again after what you've been through lately?
Being focused again on my career is it's a feeling that you can't describe. You know what I mean? After having distractions like I had, and I'm glad that it's behind me now and I'm moving forward. God put things in front of you, tests and stuff like that in your life to see how you're handling them. And I think I handled that situation well. And now I have another situation with this man beside me to my right, you know what I mean? And, I'm blessed and, once again, I'm excited. So, I've beat one I've won one battle. Hopefully I can win this next one, January 24th.
Yeah, question for Alex. Did you ever believe that you could make UFC come to Sweden for a big show at the Tele2 Arena?
If I could believe I could do that?
Yeah.
Not a few years ago. So, it's huge for me and for the Swedish MMA. So, and like I said before, it's a big honor for me to fight in my hometown, representing Sweden, Sweden fighters. Give my own fans a good show in a big venue like this. So, it's a big honor for me.
How big is it if you compare it to the title fight against John Jones in Toronto last year?
Well, a title shot is always a title shot, but this is, this is the same. It's huge. Thank you.
Question for Alex. Your real hometown is Abbey. Do you have anything to say to them back home?
Well, thanks for your support. Keep your eyes open. Be fireworks 24th of January.
Come to the fight.
Yeah, come to the fight. Do you have any Swedish journalists?
I know.
Is that asking any questions? Kimura, for example? Anyone?
That's the word.
Give him the microphone.
We'll start off with a question to Johnson. In recent months, there have been some troubles in your private life, and it affected your UFC contract. How has that affected you in your training and your mental status for this fight?
It didn't, well, it affected me, but it made me focus more on what I need to do with myself as a person and as a fighter. Now I'm more focused than ever in my training and in my, my life. So, my eyes are looking straight ahead. I mean, I'm not worried about what's going on to my left. I'm not worried about what's going on to my right. It just made me focus more. So, a focused man is a dangerous man.
And on the episode on MMA Hour, you said that you cried when you got the fight against Alexander Gustafsson. Is that true?
Don't tell me. Yeah, man, it was a shocker and it was a blessing at the same time. With everything that had happened to me, to get good news like that you can't help but cry during a situation like, at least I can't help but cry during a situation like that. So I was just excited, to be able to fight a guy, like Alexander. It's an honor.
My last question to you: how do you see Alex as an opponent? What do you think his biggest strength, and where is he most dangerous?
Everywhere. He's tall, obviously. He's elusive. He moves a lot. He's hard to hit. Hell, he can box for sure. He gave John Jones a run for his money, So I can't take anything away from Alex. He's a beast. I expect him to let everything out of the bag whenever he fights me, just like he did with John. So I just have to be ready for it all.
I have a question to Alex. It's going to be about 10 months from the date that you last fought when you fighting Johnson. How does this break affect you and your injury as well?
Well, it's not fun, not competing, but at the same time, I'm just been improving my skills, and I know for a fact now that I'm a better fighter than I were when I fought Jimmy, for example. So I'm feeling great. So good. My injury, I'm injury free, no injuries, nothing. I'm in training camp, doing really good and doing improvements every day. So feeling great.
Do you feel any pressure of selling out the arena with your name and, of course, you being the biggest star for the Swedish crowd?
No, not at all. I don't feel any. I'm there to work. I'm there to fight another man. That's my job. My job is not selling out anything or doing anything else. I'm just focusing on the right things. I have a great team around me. The UFC does what they do best. So I'm very confident, and it will be a packed arena for sure.
My last question: except being a hard-hitter guy, how do you preserve Anthony Johnson as an opponent?
Well, he's first of all, it's a great person, and I respect him a lot. And he's done very good now in our division. So this is a force I have to count with. It's no one I can underestimate. It's a guy with a lot of skills. He's a very strong guy, and he comes to fight. So I have to be on my top of my game, and I have to be better than I've ever been before. So I'll be ready.
Alex, what's the mood like at the moment in the All-Star camp? Obviously, last month things didn't go, the way of the fighters, apart from Magnus. But what's the general mood like in the camp at the moment with the fighters?
Well, it's good. We just had a setback back then, but this is MMA. You have good days, you have bad days. So it's all good. The guys are working every day. They're working hard, trying to improve the strength, the weaknesses. So we're like a family at All Stars. So we just do what we're good at. We got great coaches, we got a great team around us, great people. So just having fun.
And is the plan to stay in Stockholm for the entire camp, or will you maybe go out to San Diego and train at Alliance MMA as well?
Well, I haven't talked to my coach Andreas. We have talked a little bit. I'm in camp. I'm training hard. I'm going to, stay home for a while and train. But we're looking at different opportunities to go abroad to train. We look at different gyms and stuff just to mix things up a little bit. So let's see what happens.
You had Jimmy Manuel here a while ago, obviously helping him train for his upcoming fight. That didn't work out because of an injury. But what was that like, being able to train with someone that you've already been in the cage with?
Well, I've done it before. It's something I'm quite used to now. But he's a beast for sure. That guy, he hits like a horse kicks. So. He's a great person, a great athlete. He improves too very well, and he's a very strong guy and a beast. So we had a great time. We trained hard, and hopefully I will train with him again very soon.
Okay. Anthony, this recent run of 8 wins in the last 2 or 3 years, best run of your career so far. What do you put it down to? What's changed in the last 3 years compared to the previous fights in your career?
I can eat, I can enjoy myself, and I'm just having fun. And that's all that matters to me right now. Big difference when you can eat.
And how are things at the Black Zillion camp? Obviously, Vito's got a big fight, you've got a big fight coming up as well. What's the general mood like at the camp at the moment?
It's great. Everybody's focused. Everybody has a goal. No injuries as far as I know from anybody in the camp, minor bumps and bruises, but that's going to happen with this sport and training. We're just motivated, man. We're pushing each other. Me and Vito are training together in Vegas for the last press conference. And, I don't think I've ever seen anybody more motivated than Vito right now. That guy's pretty dangerous. I've never seen him so excited for a fight. And the fact that he's so excited, it makes me excited. I see him push himself so hard, it makes me push myself even harder. So the vibe is good. The coaches are getting along. The management team is working really well. The fighters are they're there. We've added a couple of guys to the team. Everything's beautiful.
And do you have fighters in the Black Zillion camp and the stable that can kind of emulate or replicate Gustafsson's height and range and reach, or will you maybe try and find some fighters and bring them in to help you spar with?
You just want me to give up all my secrets, don't you? It's hard to have somebody that can move like him. He has a unique style that you don't see often in MMA. I think the closest guy that I've ever seen move like him, Alexander, is Dominic Cruz. They move a lot. Those two guys, they're basically mimics of each other. So I don't know, man. I gotta do some things. We'll see. It all really matters. January 24th, what happens? It doesn't matter who I bring in. It doesn't matter what I think I can do. What matters is January 24th. You know what I mean? So we'll see then if I did my homework.
Alex, looking from the outside, the stuff you're getting in there, how big you are here, fighting in a stadium, 30,000 people. Looks like you're moving into Zlatan territory over here. Does it make harder for you to focus on the essential things?
Focus on the training itself, or well, it's you know, you more recognized you get, the harder it is to, and it's all about the balance. You know, everything takes energy from you, so it's very important to have good people around you and focusing on the right things and have a balance in your life. So that's what I'm fighting every day to have. You know, it's a fight, but it's a fight on winning. So it's not a problem for me. So I'm getting used to it too, and you know, I'm just doing what I do best. That's fight.
How do you maintain that balance every day?
Well, it's a fight, but you know, I'm like I said, you know, I get good advices from good people around me, and you know, I feel comfortable where I'm at. I'm used to it by this time, and I'm feeling great. And if I don't train, I don't feel well. You know, I'm really down. You know, so I need to train to stay happy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm happy every day. I'm training, having fun.
So do you plan to bring on any Finnish friends for the training camp?
Absolutely. You know, I've been talking to Ventinen, and he'll probably come out for a couple of weeks or two. So let's see what happens. Thank you.
Is it okay to ask a question in Swedish? Or?
Yes, of course.
Alexander, Givel kommer ju mellan idag och fighten. Det handlar ju för många svenskar om att äta mycket och så här. Hur blir det en sån här jul när den här matchen är någorlunda nära? Kan du äta vad du vill och så där, eller gör du något speciellt?
Alltså jag kommer nog förmodligen äta lite grann. Nu var hemma med nära och kära. Och käka ändå helt okej. Jag kommer kanske träna 1 eller 2 pass under jul. Och sen ha lite kvalitetstid för familjen. Men äta är nog inga problem. Det är ändå en månad kvar till fighten. Så det är lugnt.
Och hur bra form är du, skulle säga, nu mot hur det kommer att vara matchdagen?
Ja, det är ju liksom, det är något man bygger upp. Så jag är i den form jag ska vara just nu. Det är ingen matchform och jag är inte ur form. Så att, det är precis där man ska vara. Så att, det är under kontroll.
Question. So let's say we'll translate that question for everybody else.
So the question was about Christmas and the tradition you have of a lot of Christmas food, and we can all rest assured that Alex will eat this Christmas and spend a lot of time with his family.
Two questions actually for you, Mr. Alan. It says UFC Fight Night. Is it Fight Night or is it UFC on Fox?
It's UFC Fight Night, that's the title of the event. Our Fight Night series this year, we're predominantly in EMEA, Asia, and down in South America. The title of all our fights, unless it's a pay-per-view going forward, we're working with UFC Fight Night. And yes, the show is live on Fox. It's one of 4 events that Fox will take next year across the United States. If you want to watch it and you want to see it in Sweden, you've got to come to the arena. It's going to be a big one. Don't miss it.
And there's been a lot of talks about the time. Do you know when the main card will start? Because usually on Fox it starts about 2 o'clock at night in Sweden.
Okay, so we've been working hard with the arena and with our broadcast partners to make sure that we can get this access to as many people as possible. So we're going to open the doors to the arena at 9 o'clock. The first prelim will start at 11 o'clock, all Swedish time. So I know sometimes I get confused trying to work out the time zones and clocks going back and forward and whatever. So doors will open at 9 o'clock, prelims at 11, and then the main card will start at 2. We've also been working very, very hard with MTR, the subway and transport people, and they have confirmed that the trains will be running. So there will be easy access for everybody to and from the arena. So no problems getting here, no problems getting away. It's a bit like a late night out on a Saturday. You know, I've gone out at 11 o'clock at night. I'm sure you go out at 11 o'clock at night. And that's what it'll be like in the arena. It'll be a great night out. We have all the bars and all the restaurants will be open. We'll have UFC parties going on all around the arena. So it'll be a great night's entertainment. And then we'll top it off with these two guys stepping into the octagon outside in front of 30,000 people.
My last question is, these two guys go for the main event, and you have the co-main event between Mousasi and Henderson. Are there any other names that you can, or are you planning to have big fights like the two that I mentioned on the main card?
Yeah, these are the only two big names y'all need to worry about. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you can get bigger than these two guys in the light heavyweight division, but we've announced, I think, it's 7 fights so far, and we've got a couple more to come. We're just working through some details, but yes, they'll be big ones. But not as big as these two guys. These are what's here to make a night of it. It's going to be fantastic. Okay.
So, Anthony, you had a great fight against Phil Davis in April, and you actually won pretty dominant over him. Then he fought the former title shot Glover Teixeira and won. Where does that put you, especially since you won on knockout fairly early in the last fight as well?
Where does it put me as far as what? Right?
No, in your strength. How strong are you now? Is this your best form?
I mean, every fight I feel like I get better and better. So you can only be as good as your last performance. So hopefully I'm 10 times better than I was when I fought Phil, Nogueira. So hopefully January 24th I'm like Superman, you know. And but we'll see. You know, when you're fighting a guy like Gus, you just never know what's going to happen. You know, when you're fighting a guy like me, you just never know what's going to happen. So I guess that's why they wanted to pick this arena with 30,000 people, because you just never know what's going to happen when it comes down to guys like me and him fighting.
So, Dave, Gus is not very. He's not afraid of not filling up the arena. Are you afraid?
Absolutely not. We wouldn't have come here if we didn't know that the Swedish people are going to get behind this fight. You know, they're going to get behind the UFC as they have done. You know, this is the 4th time we've come to Stockholm, and we've got great support. We've got great support of the management team that Alex has here in Stockholm. We've got great support of all the fighters who were on the last card as well. We know the Swedish fans love to support their own nation. Yes, Anthony, you know, I don't know how many you're going to bring over from the US, but we're relying on the Swedish fans getting behind us. Like I said, you know, you've seen in the video the Swedish fans when they were in London, you know, when we were here a couple of weeks ago as well. They will fill this arena and make some noise. I've been to some great football matches around the world as well. I watched the Swedish fans and the colour and it's just a hype and a party that the atmosphere that will be. So we have no doubt that they'll go on sale tickets on Friday and they'll sell out fast. So get in there early, don't wait around. Ideal Christmas present.
Will we see any more Swedish fighters on the main card?
We're just working through a couple of things at this moment. I can't confirm who, what or where they're from. We're just working through a number of different options that we want to make up. You know, that's what we have Joe and Sean Shelby doing. They do a great job at that. So they're working hard. But, you know, it's an international event, as I said already. We've got 9 different nationalities coming in from all over the world. So the show itself will be broadcast all over the world. This is a major, major event, and we want to put on the best show possible, and that's what we'll do in matchmaking the fighters, making sure that we got the right match here on the card. Thank you.
I have 2 questions for Anthony and Alex. Now that Mr. Allen said that the fight's going to be main card's going to start about 2 o'clock. Your fight's going to be probably at 4 o'clock, earliest 3 o'clock. How are you going to train for a fight that starts that late at night?
Well, I just have to train at night. So I'll probably train a few weeks for the fight at night time. So that won't be a problem.
So you're going to wake up and there's Michael and...
I won't see sunlight at all.
In my opinion, if you want to fight, you're going to fight no matter what time it is. So fighters fight, they don't worry about what time it is, they're always ready. So will the time change play a factor? Most likely, that's why I'm coming out here probably a week early to get used to it, but I'll be ready.
And last question to you, Anthony. The fight between Alex and Jones, have you seen it and what's your thought about it? And do you think Jones won that fight?
No, I thought he won. I have a couple of Swedish friends, and by the end of the fight, they were like, I think we have a Swedish champion. I was like, I think you do too. And whenever they announced that Jones won, I was shocked. I actually thought Alexander won. But, you can't win them all. And when you're fighting a champion, you definitely have to push him away. And it was a really close fight, but I still think that he did enough to finish the fight. But that's just how the dice roll. That's why he's leaving it in the judges' hands. Because you just never know what's going to happen. They have weird views on fights. Most judges aren't fighters anyway. And I think they're just there to enjoy the fight. They don't really pay attention to what's really going on. The way these judges are making calls these days, it's ridiculous. So, I do think Gus won, though. That's just my own 2 cents.
I have one more question. There's a title fight between Jones and Daniel Cormier. How do you see that fight going, and who do you think is going to win that fight?
I want Daniel Cormier to win just to shake up the division a little bit, but he is fighting Jones, so that's going to be tough to do. So. But I'm picking Daniel to win just because I want him to shake up the division, give people something different to talk about. It's not that I'm tired of hearing about Jones. He's the beast. He's the best in the world. He's the best ever at 205. So he definitely has my respect. So everybody in 205 has my respect. But it would be nice for a change to hear another name. But Jones is a beast, and he's going to keep doing what he has to do to win. So. Who's going to win that fight? I don't know. But I think it's going to be a battle.
Same question to me?
Yeah.
What was the Jones and DC fight? Well, they're both great competitors and great athletes. A little bit like Anthony said, that would be great to see DC win the fight because it will make some changes in the division. But at the same time, it's Jones, and I believe Jones' reach and his height and his skill set is maybe a little bit too much for DC. But DC is a beast. At the same time, if you're going to get a title shot, if you want to fight for the title, it won't be a better opponent than Jones to fight to get that belt. So I'm hoping that John wins the fight.
Okay, we'll take one more question, I think, and then we'll go.
Okay, Alex, you seem to have many supportive fans. How important are they to you this time?
Well, the fans means everything to a fighter or to an athlete in any sport, I believe. Makes you push harder in training, stay motivated, focusing on the right things. So, yeah, no words can describe what a fan means to an athlete. So, it means a lot.
What do you want to say to them?
Well, thanks for everything. Thanks for being supportive. Thanks for being with me my whole career, and thanks for standing up for me. So.
And does it matter if you fight in Sweden or in the US?
I can fight in Mars. I don't care as long as I fight. You know, the location really doesn't matter. Like I said, a fighter is going to show up to fight. It doesn't matter where you are, what time it is. You know, if you want to fight, you're going to fight. So, hell, I can fight in Timbuktu. I don't care.
Okay, so that's it, guys. Thank you very much. We're going to go out to the arena now. The guys are going to get dressed to do some open workouts, so you get an opportunity for photo shoots out in the middle of the pitch. So thank you all for coming. I thank the Tele2 Arena and our presenting sponsors, Unibet. So thanks, guys.